What is going down, SDS? We are back again on this Thursday to talk more 49ers football. We're going to get into it all right now. We're going to preview the Panthers. We're going to watch some film against the Rams. We're going to talk about why the 49ers can get a nice little winning streak going. In the meantime, smash that like button. Let's go. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. What is going down, guys? We got a couple updates coming out of practice. Doesn't look like the 49ers have Eric Armstead or Javon Kinlaw practicing today. So those two guys aren't trending in the right direction. We'll hear from some of the coaches later on today, but it is the second day in a row that 49ers Jimmy Ward and Jason Verrett are practicing. So that is good news, especially for that defensive unit that is arguably playing as the best defense in the NFL. You'll love to see it. Let's see. So we'll continue to monitor that situation, see how it all goes. But shout out to all the SDS already vibing in the chat. Appreciate you guys hopping in as always, joining us on this adventure that we call 49ers football. Let's go. All right, let's see. I want to shout out the SDS, see how we're doing today. Good to see you guys. Oh, the Hubanga tribe balling out 100%. Big facts. Big facts. Let's see here. I agree with this. I don't think the Panthers are going to be a cakewalk. Feels like we're going to talk about this every week, week in, week out. It's going to be one up front. Last week, but this week, I guess it was Monday, the 49ers won that game in large part due to the defensive tackles, the defensive ends, the linebackers, the safeties playing around the line of scrimmage and doing all kinds of stuff to that opposing offensive line. It's going to be a lot of the same. It's going to be a lot of the same. Cap says, do I get credit for Hubanga? Absolutely. 100%. And I think Hubanga was so organic because I think it was a typo. It was a typo, I think, Cap, that you had put into it, but it just popped off the chat. Just really popped off. And it has stuck. And it's one of my favorite things to say. I absolutely love saying Hubanga. It just fits so well. Shout out to our guy Jeremy, chilling in the hospital. Hopefully all is well, my guy. Hopefully we can give you some mental relief from whatever you're dealing with, kind of get you out of that spot, get you focused on some of the San Francisco 49ers. And again, how we're on a positive uptick right now and how we can continue this and get it rolling into Panthers week 5. 49ers are 2-2. Let's see. So the 49ers have officially designated Jimmy Ward to return from injured reserve. I think we knew that, but I think this is just the official process going through. So Jimmy Ward will be back No signs of Verrett yet. So it does sound like we will officially get Jimmy Ward against the Panthers, which is a phenomenal problem to have because the 49ers safeties are playing at such a high level right now. Uh, Talanoa Hufanga and Tashawn Gibson are playing lights out. Now you add Jimmy Ward into the mix. I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to continue to show their dominance, and they're facing a weak opponent. Let's call a spade a spade. The Carolina Panthers are straight trash on offense. Um, they have a good defense, but they're just falling apart. That doesn't mean we can take them for granted. That's why you play the games. You don't base the wins off of what the roster's telling you. You got to go out and you got to play. But as we see it right now, the Panthers are hurt. The Panthers placed Jeremy Chin onto injured reserve earlier this week. Absolute huge loss. Arguably one of the best players on their team. He goes to injured reserve. I think they're down their other safety. It does sound like it was just reported this week that Laviska Shenault, who they traded for from the Jaguars, he'll be out for a while, and he's an explosive player. But it looks like he'll be out. The Carolina Panthers are going to be limping into this game. Their safety Xavier Woods is expected to be a game time decision against the 49ers. I'm trying to go through and see what other updates have come out regarding injuries. I do think Christian McCaffrey will be available to play, but they are a hurt team. Defensively, all that stuff. So the 49ers have an opportunity to build some momentum here going and playing against the Panthers. Chris Soto says, we know for a fact it's pronounced Hufanga. I think it's Hufanga is how we say it. I think that's how we say it. I think it is Hufanga at this point. Sean says, will we give Brunskill a run at left tackle? I don't know about that. And as you guys know, Colton McKivitz went down against the Rams. He'll be out for 6 to 8 weeks, potentially with an MCL sprain. So the 49ers are going to have to figure out how they're going to fill that left tackle spot. And it does sound like it will be with Jalen Moore. Jalen Moore did come in and perform pretty well. We could even pull up some of Jalen Moore's snaps. He did pretty good. And he did face Aaron Donald a couple times. It was a huge rebound performance compared to how Jalen Moore performed against the Denver Broncos. So I do think Jalen Moore will get the first crack just because it is his natural position. Jalen Moore has historically, going back to college, been a left tackle. So that should be his natural position. So I would think they would want to keep him there for continuity purposes. He played tackle all throughout training camp, whether it was left, whether it was right. He ran a decent amount with the first team because, as we know, if Trent Williams or Mike McGlinchey wasn't practicing, it was Colton McKivitz and Jalen Moore at the left tackle or right tackle position. So I do imagine we will see Jalen Moore. It's going to be interesting to see what we get from Brunskill because he was rotating at right guard with Spencer Burford. Spencer Burford is like when we talk about Spencer Burford, he has all the physical traits and tools that you want in an offensive lineman. What we're seeing with Spencer Burford right now is we're seeing a rookie. We're seeing a guy who's adjusting to the game speed, the intricacies of the run game that are very defined and specific to what is being run, and the margin for error as an offensive lineman in this particular scheme is so small. You have to play proper leverage. You have to be using proper technique. You have to be using proper timing. And just what we're seeing with uh, Burford right now, we're seeing that he's still a rookie. He's still figuring it out. 4 games in, he's still trying to get up to speed, learn the scheme, learn the techniques, and all those different types of things. So it's going to take some time. But I do think that's why Brunskill was rotating in because he did have a couple assignment busts early in that game. So we'll see how that continues to progress forward. I've talked about it many times. Brunskill, he didn't have a great game either. And you could definitely tell Brunskill hadn't played for a solid 4 to 5 weeks and he was kind of all over the place. Um, but I will say when it comes to offensive line and coaching and things like that, offensive line coaches, they want guys who are going to run the proper assignment, to do the job as it's been coached. Now, are they going to execute it all the time to perfection? Not totally, but as long as they're doing the right thing, taking the proper steps, using the right technique, and doing those things, you're going to have a much better chance of seeing the field opposed to a guy who might have more skill or more talent, but is really struggling with the assignment portion of playing the game. And I just think that's what we're seeing with Burford. So I don't think it's going to be much of an issue once Burford gets this stuff figured out and gets it dialed in and gets caught up. Spencer Burford's going to be a great offensive lineman. We just got to give him the time and the patience to get up to speed, learn the offense, learn the technique, and play at the NFL level. So he'll probably have a much better year next year. But I also imagine he'll be better towards the end of the season as well than he is now. Um, but those Carolina Panthers, man, I think I think we're a couple games away from potentially getting our first head coach firing of the year. We've talked about it at length throughout the offseason because I've been dialing up all the trade Jimmy Garoppolo to the Panthers for Brian Burns schemes. And so I always follow the Panthers just because I like a lot of the players that they have, but they just haven't been able to pull it together from a coaching standpoint. Matt Rule could be fired mid-year this year, and the 49ers could have something to do with that. It's a big test. There's a lot of pressure on this Carolina Panthers team playing at home. 49ers coming off a really nice win. Could be a recipe for disaster for the Panthers. We've seen the little internal turmoil that they have kind of going with DJ Moore, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield hasn't been performing at the highest level. Christian McCaffrey has been dealing with injury. DJ Moore has been kind of invisible on the year. They have a decent offensive line. Ike Ekwonu, he was my LT1 in this draft class. I like him a lot. Pat Elflein, decent center. Austin Corbett, decent right guard. Taylor Morton, average right tackle. So I think there's an opportunity here where the San Francisco 49ers defense absolutely suffocates the Panthers offense. I think from a coaching standpoint, a schematic standpoint, the 49ers absolutely have the upper hand. So it's going to be really hard. I mean, you never know. Teams come out, they click. We'll never say never in this league. But I do imagine the San Francisco 49ers defense comes out against the Carolina Panthers and punches them in the mouth. I expect more of the same from what we've seen from this defense from the 49ers. D'Amico Ryans is scheming it up like a dog. He is some of the blitz packages, some of the stunt packages that he's rolling out. One of the sacks that Nick Bosa got was on a beautiful blitz stunt combo where you had Bosa come all opposite side A gap, loop around, came untouched, sacked Matthew Stafford. I think D'Amico Ryans is, and of course the talent on the defensive side, uh, is going to absolutely suffocate this offense. Now, let's not pretend like Christian McCaffrey isn't a threat. Christian McCaffrey is absolutely a threat. DJ Moore is absolutely a threat. Robbie Anderson still got some juice. It's up to Baker Mayfield to get them the ball. And if the San Francisco 49ers can make it real difficult for Baker, which I think they will, that offense is going to struggle. So I think it's more of the same of what we've seen from the 49ers defense. This defense has potential to, we're going to sound like a freaking, just like we're repeating episodes here at a certain point. But this defense is a championship caliber defense. So a championship caliber defense will always have you in games, will always have you potentially like looking at a W in the win column. How is the offense going to perform? That's gonna be interesting because the Panthers do have a pretty solid defensive line. And as we know, the 49ers offensive line is a little bit banged up. You got some inexperience there. They're still shuffling some guys in and out. You're onto your third left tackle, and you got Brian Burns coming into town. You already know BB's my boy. That's my dog. Y'all know I got mad love for Brian Burns. Like like that's my guy. I even posted about him on Instagram because if you know, you know. That's my boy. It's my dog. I had to fight everyone pre-draft who told me that Brian Burns wasn't a player. That told me uh that told me Brian Burns wasn't a guy that anyone should be worried about. He's too skinny. He's not big enough. Oh, me and BB. Oh boy, we went to war that draft season, and we're bonded for life. So I love BB, but we got the ultimate respect for BB, and he's going to give us some fits. He's probably got one of the most explosive first steps in the NFL. He's got an entire bag of pass rushing tricks and the most deadliest spin move in the NFL. Um, and we know Jalen Moore's he struggles with that. So it's going to be a great test for this offensive line. Derek Brown, first round draft pick, defensive tackle on the interior, solid defensive tackle. Matt Leonidas, solid defensive tackle. Yetur Gross Matos, solid defensive end as well. Shaq Mason, been a just a solid player for these Panther defenses. JC Horn has actually been performing pretty well. He's been performing pretty well. I was listening to a Panthers guy with Croc. The man said CJ Henderson is trash. Um, I was so I was not a big CJ Henderson fan, man. I thought he was trash coming out of the draft. I don't know. Everyone loves CJ Henderson. I don't know why they love CJ Henderson. I was absolutely in no man's land when it came to uh, evaluating CJ Henderson pre-draft. For whatever reason, everyone loved this guy, and I said, "This guy ain't it." Like we talk about that dog, right? Uh, People who have that dog in them. CJ Henderson ain't got that dog in him, and you could see it from 50 million miles away. But for whatever reason, people were enamored with CJ Henderson. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, this dude's a bust. Again, I take just as much pride in my ability to find draft crushes and draft diamonds as I can spot busts. I think, and CJ Henderson, watched him, trying to figure out why everyone loved him. I said, this dude is ass. Absolutely ass. And sure enough, ass. But I think the 49ers match up well. Definitely match up well. So we'll see. But is it time? We'll do a more in-depth breakdown on the Panthers tomorrow. Should we look at some film? Should we watch some tape? Uh Look back at the Rams, see how they can transfer towards getting this W against the Panthers, because I think it's going to happen. We'll do our predictions tomorrow, but I think it's going to happen. I think the 49ers really needed that W on Monday night from a pressure standpoint, from a perspective standpoint. They needed it, and they got it, and they got it in one of the better ways, because they dominated for the most part. They really did. And but I think this is a good opportunity for the 49ers offense to continue to get better. They're still they're still not where they need to be, and they're winning games. So that's a positive. If the 49ers can get themselves in a spot to be successful. Okay. Oh, I don't know if that's going to work. Hold on a second. There we go. Oh, this is defense. I don't want to watch defense. Hold on. But you'll see. The 49ers offense still has a ways to go. They're not there yet. And that's to be expected. It's week 4. There's been so many changes, just from personnel standpoint, scheme standpoint, going from Trey to Jimmy, the offensive line trying to gel and all that kind of stuff. So you know it would take some time for things to get moving. But I do think there is an opportunity here for the 49ers to continue to play the type of ball that they need to play. All right. Let's see. And if you're ready for the stream, if you're ready for the film breakdown, smash that like button. You already know. Oh, this is a good question. How do I feel Brendel has been doing? He started out decent against Chicago. Seattle, Denver, not the best. And then Rams, you could tell he had the juice. He brought the juice with him. I'll give Brendel credit. He brought the juice with him. He wasn't perfect. He really did clean up a lot of the missed assignments that he had in previous weeks. He played a much cleaner game, but you could tell he was juiced up. He was ready to go. Absolutely ready to go. Let me see. Let's get to some plays. What do we want to see first? Do we want to see Debo? Do we want to see Kittle? Do we want to see Aiyuk? Do we want to see Aiyuk running free all over the field? Let's start with the good one, huh? Let's start with the good one. Let's start with the goodie. We'll roll it and then we'll break it down. I think this is no, it's not it. I think it's the next one. Yes, next one. Here we go. You guys remember this play? Whoo! Look at Debo, man. So inspirational. Ramsey didn't want no damn smoke. Ramsey didn't want nothing. This play is like 95% because of Debo. Like, he should have been tackled. You make the argument, should have been picked off. But Debo really made this whole play work. And then you got the blocking down the field. But, oh boy. Like, the fact that he comes down with this ball, catch, miss, catch, plant, juke, stays up, cuts back, finds blocking. Look at Kittle, man. Look at Kittle demolishing people. Look at that. Good night. Oh, Jalen. Oh, Jalen. Oh, Jalen didn't want no smoke. He said, "Oh, is that Debo?" He said, "Oh God, what am I gonna do?" What a pansy, bro. Get your head across. The hell, man. This dude's supposed to be the best cornerback in the league. And look at Aiyuk. Dog. Look at freaking Aiyuk. Dog. Put his ass on the turf, bro. Great play. Absolutely great play. Uh big, huge part due to Debo Samuel. I mean, this is on Debo. Phew. What a savage. I love the blocking down the field still. Let's see, where does Kittle come from? Kittle is all the way over here, runs his route. Look at the effort. Look at the effort. Look at where Debo is. Debo is probably like 25 yards away from Kittle, and Kittle's starting to block 53. And then pancakes 33. Legend. Look, it completely cleared out 53. Shoves 53 into whoever that is. Is that Juice? Then he pancakes this dude. You got Jalen Ramsey peeing down his leg. And then finish with Aiyuk dropping 53 on his back. It's a great play. Great play. Started with a good one. Let's see. What other. Oh, I think this might have been the best pass of the game that Jimmy had. I think we're on the right one. Yeah. This was the best pass of the night from Jimmy Garoppolo. When you get the end zone angle, you're gonna see why. Um, this one's to George Kittle. So watch him thread this in there. Whew. Man, if we get this Jimmy consistently, 49ers are undefeated, man. Come on, Jim. You got this all day, every day. Like, we'll take that. That's money. We love that. All day. Give us that all day, Jim. We're winning the bowl. Offensive line up front, solid protection. I really like this recovery here from Aaron Banks. Aaron Banks is going to get the good old hand swipe. See the hand swipe? Hand swipes are dangerous, man. Those are hard to recover from because it gets your shoulders turned. But look at the reaction. Instantly, hand swipe, get on him. And shout out Colton McKivitz on his leg. Helps get Aaron Donald to the ground. But again, the ability to react. Watch the feet here. Watch his feet, his setup, wide base, gets the swipe, AD gets leverage, instantly changes his body angle and leverage. And even if he doesn't trip here, he's riding Aaron Donald out the pocket. So Aaron Banks continues to be pretty solid. I'm pretty happy. pretty happy with Aaron Banks up until this point. I think he's done a phenomenal job, considering some of the early concerns that I admittedly I was worried about it. I didn't know. I didn't know what we were gonna get. I saw like 3 snaps of Aaron Banks against the Jacksonville Jaguars week 11 and scared the crap out of me. Um, but he's done a really solid job. This particular play, Jeff Wilson, I think hit over 20 miles an hour on. So Jeff Wilson out here cooking. This particularly though is just that we got to give some credit to Kyle because the design here is wonderful. It's like a variation off their Zorro. Zorro is like when they pull a tight end or a fullback, H back, wide receiver, whatever, across the formation, and they run like a double to backer concept. It's like a combo block, and they call it Zorro. But it's like a I don't even know what it is. It's a trap. It's like a front side trap with see how Warner goes inside. Brendel leaves the one tech unguarded. So they're trapping the one tech, right? So you see Warner going inside. Banks flows to linebacker, and you can see the motion. The motion in the ocean gets 53 in the perfect spot for Banks. So that's why the pre-snap motion is clutch for offensive linemen because puts 53 in the perfect spot. Colton does a good job. Banks gets the second level. Look at Burford. Double. Oh, let's go, dog. Beautiful. Double. Make sure make sure this defensive tackle doesn't cross your face. Get off him, get to second level just enough. So the entire the foundation of this play is we've talked about it. How do because teams they've figured out Zorro. Every team runs Zorro now. So this is the wrinkle off of Zorro, and it worked perfectly. It's beautiful. You gotta love it. It was really nice. Turned into a touchdown. Everyone blocked it up front. Kudos to everyone. It's a great job. And then you got to give credit to Jeff Wilson. Love his vision. He's so good. Jeff Wilson deserves a lot of credit. Yumo says, "Hey Brad, right now, who's your top Niners offensive line player? Williams don't count." Well, I'll just tell you this from the Rams game. The best offensive lineman for the 49ers against the Rams, I know no one wants to hear it, but it was Mike McGlinchey. Mike McGlinchey was the best 49ers offensive lineman against the Rams. He had the cleanest game. He made maybe one or two mistakes, maybe. Didn't get beat in pass protection. Did everything that was asked of him. It was a really good job. And this is a really good throw. This is the kind of stuff, man. If we get this kind of the play action again, Zorro, see that? This is like also like a variation of Zorro where you got Kittle and Juice pulling. Look at Bobby Wagner biting on the motion. That allows that hole to develop in that kind of second window. So there's still plenty of room for Jimmy Garoppolo, but he's capable. That's, I think, one of the most frustrating things when I think we watch some of the plays that are either missed or whatever. There is a lot of potential here. They just got to figure it out. You got to play clean. Got to take what's given to you. And I think the 49ers can take care of it. Let's look at Jalen Moore just so we can get a little bit of optimism for Jalen Moore. You know, why not? Jalen Moore optimism. You know, I've been down on Jalen Moore. I've been down on Jalen Moore before he even played against Denver. Is this the Jalen Moore? So this is Jalen Moore on Aaron Donald. I mean, does a pretty solid job. It's a combo block. But this is also just creative ass. Again, Kyle Shanahan, we talked about how does he get the run game working when teams understand what they're doing. This is again another great wrinkle from Kyle Shanahan. Uh, Everything's set up to be a pitch to Debo Samuel, right? To the right. You got look at the puller. Look at what that does. So these are the things that we want to see from Kyle, because now heading into the Panthers, let's say, they're going to get this tape and it might open this type of concept back up again, because now they might be alerting to potential backside misdirections like this from Juice. Beautiful. Great block by Aiyuk. Great block from everyone up front. You can see they bite hard on the pitch to the right, and it is a misdirection handoff to Juice to the left. Um, so Kyle's dialing it up. Yeah, Kyle is dialing it up, but we just gotta execute it. Just gotta execute it. What's this play? Oh, so we could talk about this next play, because I think it's been a heavily scrutinized one. This no, not this one. So I saw people kind of coming after McGlinchey on this particular play. I wouldn't, because when you look at the numbers here, you got three guys, right? So what the rules are for the offensive line, you're doubling to backer. So you got these two guys theoretically are responsible for these two guys. Juice is going to pick up the end. So I don't. This is just an alignment issue and a great play by Bobby Wagner to be heads up, fill the hole, and get in there. This isn't on McGlinchey. McGlinchey's doing his rules. He's trying to block the linebacker and block Bobby Wagner at the same time. That's very difficult. So it's just a better play by B Wags, and taking advantage of the numbers game over here. So I don't put that on McGlinchey. That's just a better play by Bobby Wagner. This is the Jalen Ramsey getting cooked by Brandon Aiyuk on the whip route. We've talked about it, but let's take a look at it a little bit further. So again, focus here. I don't know the primary. So this is when you know these conversations kind of come up on Twitter and things like that. Like, oh, he should have threw it to Brandon Aiyuk, or he should have threw it to this guy, should have threw it to that guy. It definitely matters what the primary like reads are and what that looks like. Um, I don't know who the primary is, but if I had to guess, I think it would be Aiyuk, because if you watch the eyes here, he's locked on this. So I'm just curious, because Brandon Aiyuk wins right here. See this? See this leverage right here? This is a whip route. So that Jimmy knows it's going back out. This tells me right here that Ayuk won, because you already have Jalen Ramsey trying to cut off the inside, and he gets beat to the inside, but the route is going back outside. So by the time Jalen recovers, Ayuk's already going into a different concept, into his break and popping out the other way. Um, so like as a quarterback, like, or I'm not a quarterback, but if I'm pretending that I am and I'm staring at this, I'm seeing a cornerback get whooped. Look at how much separation Aiyuk gets here, but he comes off of it, right? Jimmy comes off this. He didn't like it. But what does he go to? He goes to a bracketed George Kittle. Now, it just so happens that Jimmy Garoppolo throws probably one of the nicest passes he's ever thrown in that I've seen from him. Um, when we're just talking about a pure dime uh, over two defenders, like literally, you cannot throw this ball any faster or any better. Like, like wow, beautiful throw, beautiful throw. But he's pissed for a reason because that ball should have went to him. I believe. I think. I don't know. I'm not going to say I know. But again, think of the logic involved. You got one-on-one matchup. BA cooks his dude off the line of scrimmage. Beats him inside. You know it's a whip. Got him out. Basically, Ramsey out of phase. He's cooked right here. Ramsey's cooked. And he comes off of it and goes to a bracketed George Kittle. Now, again, throws a perfect pass. Like, literally couldn't throw it any better. I'm just curious if I was in the offensive meeting room, I would love to hear what Kyle said about this. Because you could see, look at his like he's staring at Aiyuk and comes off Aiyuk and then has so we're nitpicking a play. I think this turned into a field goal, right? But it's just interesting. It's just interesting when we do our armchair quarterbacking. Like, well, why didn't we throw it to Aiyuk? He was open, and then throwing into bracketed coverage. Now, again, beautiful throw, elite throw. Like, this is elite. This is an elite ass throw. But just curious about the decision making process there. Beautiful throw though. Let's see. George Kittle only had 2 receptions. We've already seen one of them. But George Kittle is absolutely here's the second one. But George was a factor in the running, the blocking game, of course. I think we're going to get a Georgie pancake. Got Georgie out here. Oh, boom. I freaking love George blocking, man. But I want to get him the ball more. How do we get this guy the ball more? He's going to absolutely dominate defensive backs in the blocking game. How do we get this guy the football more? How do we get him the football more? Look at Debo. Baller. Baller. Oh, speaking of Kyle, I think when we looked at this play, right, they kicked a field goal here. I think we kind of wanted to see Kyle go for it. Like, go for it. Maybe Donald changed his mind because Donald is right here. I don't think so. Because you get a good block here from Burford. Kind of pushes Donald back. You can see his eyes are still out here, but he comes off that. I don't think Donald had anything to do with that. To be perfectly honest. I think people wanted to see Kyle go for it here because that's been a talking point in a narrative, be more aggressive. I really do feel like this was a troll. I feel like Kyle trolled us at the end of the half. Was it 4th and 4, 2 seconds left? I felt like, I get it, I get the concept of it, but I feel like it was a troll to throw it out of bounds. Like, I don't think Jalen was ready, and I think right here, like, I don't know. I woulda loved to see just give Juwan a shot. There's no one over the top. You got no safety. You got 2 seconds left. Why would I I feel like this is a Kyle troll. Like, "Oh, you guys want me to be more aggressive? I'm just gonna throw it out of bounds." It's like, "You want me to be aggressive? I'm just gonna throw it out of bounds. Screw giving Jawan Jennings a shot with no safety help really over the top. Like, screw it." I thought that was funny. I don't know. I feel like it's a Kyle troll, but, it's a play that didn't impact one way or the other. I just thought it was funny. Just thought it was funny. What other things do we wanna talk about? Uh, what's this? 2019. Ooh, love this. Love this. I love the pitches that are inside runs. Again, we get multiple pullers. We get Warner pulling across. We get Juice coming opposite side. We get the pitch action, which would make it look like an outside run, but it's really an inside run. And then you get the cutback from Wilson. Great block from Debo. Great block from Banks. Again, this is Jalen Moore on Aaron Donald. I don't think this is what I think what you want here is you want a block down and you kind of want to push Donald down if you could. But because Donald countered with the swim, I think Jalen Moore made the proper correction to be able to not lose balance and then just kind of leverage block because you can see it put Juice in a weird spot. He didn't really know who to block because I think you're expecting uh Jalen to crash this down, but because you got the swim to the outside, Jalen makes a good adjustment and it creates a natural running lane. And you get a good block from Brendel, no penetration from Brendel. Burford gets to second level. McGlinchey holds his guy. Just great job blocking. You had one guy to beat, but great tackle by 6. This kind of stuff will open up more things for the run game moving forward. So, really do like those plays. 1405. What's this? Oh. So this play I would have loved to see it go to Kittle. So watch Kittle here. So the safety plays inside leverage, trying to defend the middle of the field, which leaves a gaping hole over here. I know 24 is reacting to the throwing motion right here, but I think, and you can see, look at Kittle throw his hand up right there. See that? That's Kittle saying, "I'm wide the frick open." Ball's already out because it's predetermined, and 6 drives on the ball breaks it up. These are the kinds of things that I think, that I watch, and I'm like, "Ooh, that feels like a missed opportunity. That feels like a missed opportunity." Now I don't know, you know? I don't know for sure, but, it definitely feels like a missed opportunity. Feels like Kittle, you have the entire sideline. You could literally lay up the ball, let Kittle run under it. If he catches it in stride, we already know yards after catch, this might be a touchdown. And I think these are the types of plays like that I would love to see that Jimmy sees faster. Like he's got good protection, the timing's there, great pocket by the offensive line. Just feels like this could be a game-changing play. Obviously 49ers handled this game really well, but this is an opportunity that I would classify. That's why in my notes say missed Kittle, big play, near interception. So, like, drove on the ball, popped the ball up, 24. If 24 is in the right spot or the ball pounces up in the right area, that could have been a pick six, you know. Woulda, coulda, East woulda. We could throw all that stuff around, right? It didn't happen, so we're not going to pretend like it did. But man, when Kittle's throwing up that arm and saying I'm open, that's tough. So those are the things that I think Jimmy can continue to work on, um, or at least give guys opportunity. Give give guys opportunities, right? Would love to see the opportunity given to Kittle to make that play, understanding the relation of the defense, what portion of the field is wide open as a result of the way the defense is playing, and taking a shot based on what the defense is giving you, not throwing into the strength of what they're doing. Um, I think this was another play that's been talked about quite a bit. Um, this one I saw because you're going to get Debo running the clear out, absolutely clears out. And again, we talk about open areas in the field. Um, tough. We'll look at it from this angle, try to see where his eyes are. Maybe I'm trying to determine because it looks like, I mean, I don't even know. Is this quarters? You got 4 guys in the back. I would assume this is quarters. I don't know for sure. I'm not great with coverages. Um, they bring 4. You got linebacker, linebacker, linebacker. Based on these 4 zones that are being played, it does look like quarters. They bite on Debo. They bracket Debo, so there's the bracket. These 2 guys are in no man's land. And that leaves Brandon Aiyuk wide open. Now, Warner was wide open, but I don't know if this is based on Warner's angle or where Jimmy's throwing, but you can see Warner has to turn his head around and have to relocate the football. And as a result, he got twisted up and wasn't able to get it. If the ball is on his upfield shoulder and he doesn't have to twist around, probably a really big gain, maybe even a touchdown if he shakes 52. but it's thrown to the outside. Warner has to adjust, relocate, and he's already kinda tripping, and so, again, he's looking over there. I would imagine Aiyuk would be the second read. I would imagine it goes 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is, Kittle with the, check down. So, again, we're looking at quarters coverage from my understanding. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 in the progression, and it looks like he goes from 1 to 3, and it's not a terrible decision because of he's open, but also I would imagine you'd go from 1 to 2, and instead of throwing it that way, you're banging it on to Ayuk in this portion of the field and then let Ayuk work. So again, we're not talking about this if Warner catches the football, but it's just something. It's interesting. Again, would love to be a fly on the wall in these particular situations. Um, just to understand the true progressions and the reads and what they want to accomplish, all that kind of stuff. But all in all, it was a decent game for the offense. I still don't think they're where they need to be, but they're playing good enough. Playing good enough. So I think the 49ers again can improve on some of this stuff. There's plenty of opportunities to get better here. And again, that's what we keep taking away from the tape is that they've played well. Offensive line, again, like throws like that, great throw, great protection, great, for the most part, good blocking up front. Like the way Banks is able to crash this down. Colton McKivitz stays out here. This is a hard block for Jennings just based on the way 33 stepped up. But again, you get that block, maybe, but look at the size of that hole. Like there's a lot of potential here with how they're doing this. So it gives me a lot of hope moving forward. They can clean a lot of stuff up. And if they do clean it up, oh, look at McGlinch. Look at McGlinch. Pop. McGlinch really had a clean game. He really, really did. Uh, I don't think McGlinch gave up a single pressure in pass blocking. I don't think he lost a rep in pass blocking. From a run blocking standpoint, he was pretty much on the money. You got a beautiful pancake here on 94. McGlinchey was in his bag this game. I don't think anyone could say anything negative uh, about Mike McGlinchey this game. I know people love to crap on the guy any chance they get, but got to give credit where it's due. He had a phenomenal game. Played really, really well. Really clean game. We looked at that play already. But hey, lots of good stuff. And again, the what we would deem as bad stuff or could get better stuff, you can get better at. Like, and those are the things that we'll be looking forward against the Panthers and see how they play because the 49ers offensive line, they're going to have a decent test with the D line in front of them. But again, like Stuff like this from Jalen Moore at left tackle, coming in cold. Uh, just do your job. Did his job. That's all we can ask for. So, not bad. Not bad, not bad. Not bad at all. What did you guys think about what we saw from the tape? Optimistic. I'm optimistic. Again, people can get up. A lot of people get upset about that stuff, and if I had to guess, and there are more throws that more plays that I could pull up where you could potentially say was a misread. Um, I think if Brandon Ayuk were to be a little upset, I wouldn't be surprised. Um, if he was a little miffed by the lack of opportunities, wouldn't be surprised. Um, so we'll just see how that progresses forward. We will see how that progresses forward. Jesse says, I'd be more optimistic if this weren't the same Jimmy we've seen for 5 years. He hasn't improved when it comes to field vision and throwing into coverage. The hope is that it will. I'm hoping it will click. I'm hoping a light bulb will come off in his head. And again, it's really easy to do this stuff after the fact. We're sitting behind a computer screen, we're slow motioning it, those types of things. We're not thinking of all the different things that Jimmy's thinking of pre-snap, what he's trying to key on and identify pre-snap. So it's a lot easier to nitpick after the fact. I will give him that, but I do see at least an opportunity where if he can just see these things, at least from my perspective, and my perspective might not be the right perspective, but at least just from my perspective, if he can see these things, this offense can be like really pretty damn good. Because he's capable. We see the accuracy, like it's just a consistency thing, right? I think that's what it comes back to when we talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe it's one of the things that we talk about, when, maybe why Jimmy wasn't going to be on this team this year. Might had to do with just, he's a little bit inconsistent when it comes to seeing the field and picking the right place to go with the football. I would hope that that is a correctable thing, where if we just pre-snap have a better understanding of like what defenses are going to give to us and show us, identify it quickly and make the like decision off of what they're I don't know. It's a lot easier said than done. A lot easier said than done. Corey says there will be a limitation that prevents the trophy. Which is it? I got to guess. Well, thankfully for the 49ers, this is a team game. And Jimmy Garoppolo, for what it is made of Jimmy. Ooh, that came out of nowhere. I didn't even get to mute myself. I apologize if I just blew your eardrums out. Ooh. If Jimmy just can play efficient and not turn over the football, this team's going to win games. That's all we need from Jimmy. That's all we need. Jimmy, find the open receiver. Don't turn over the football. Shout out to everyone for blessing me, I guess. That sneeze was wild. Felt good though. Came out of nowhere. So How does that translate into this game against the Panthers? Well, I think the kind of quick, horizontal, that type of uh, game from the offense is going to be needed. Brian Burns can get to the quarterback in an absolute hurry, and I would imagine if they're going to line Brian Burns up on over Jalen Moore, you're going to have to put Kittle or Warner or have a running back chip. You're gonna have to. I thought Jalen Moore performed well, but let's face it, Jalen Moore has a massive task in Brian Burns, and Brian Burns has an affinity for taking advantage of tackles like Jalen Moore. So we're gonna have to see how he holds up. But I imagine we're gonna get a lot of chips, a lot of help over there on that left side, a lot of quick passing, uh, the ability to uh, throw horizontally, quick passing game, extension of the run game. Think we're going to need it. Think we're going to need it for sure. For sure. Let's see. If you do have any other questions or comments, feel free to drop them in before we get out of here today. Uh, am I going to watch Thursday Night Football, Colts vs Broncos? Probably. I got to set all my lineups now that I think about it. Do you think we'll win the NFC West? Also, will the Cowboys beat the Rams? Cowboys are cooking right now with Cooper Rush. So yeah, I think they do. And will the 49ers win the NFC West? They should win the NFC West. They have every opportunity to win the NFC West, but that's going to be ultimately up to them. They got to execute. They got to play their game. They got to hit the open receivers, make the correct reads, not turn over the football. If they do that, I think the 49ers offensive line is good enough. I think the run game is good enough. They'll get it figured out. The defense is elite. So with all those things, yeah, absolutely they should win the West. They should. The West is the 49ers, Seattle's no match, I don't think, unless the 49ers just shoot themselves in the foot. I think the 49ers will match up. I think the Arizona matchup, I always go into Arizona thinking that the 49ers are going to whoop Arizona, but they just match up well against us. It's that whole it's that old division thing that we got going on. That on paper, I feel like the 49ers should beat the Cardinals pretty easily, but I do think they match up well against us. We have a tendency to struggle with mobile quarterbacks. Um, Guys who can create second opportunities. Kyler Murray can do just that. So you would think that they would beat the Cardinals, but you never know. And then the Rams, week 8, I think they should take care of business. I think they should. So, uh, and I started to watch the defense. Only got about halfway through the defense today, through the defensive tape, but the defense ain't a problem. The defense is all over the place. Defensive line, linebackers, cornerbacks, they're doing everything that you want. The 49ers, the matchup between the Panthers defense or the Panthers offense and the 49ers defense is 100% going to uh, definitely be on the 49ers side. EMA says, does Kyle start feeding Juice more after seeing how wide open he is? I've been advocating for him since 2009, and he's one of the most dependable players we have. I agree with you 100%. Absolutely. And they did. We did see more Juice. Let me show you. I'll show you right here. It was an they actually thank you for bringing that up because I'll show you some nuance here. I'm almost 100% positive this is what happened. Uh, they showed zero respect for Juice. All right, so where's Juice? On this play, so this is fun. These are the nuances of tape study that I really enjoy because these are going to be back to back plays. These are back to back plays, and I think it's like a real in time adjustment because you have Juice come across formation and they literally don't give two shits about guarding Kyle Juszczyk. All right. So watch it again. Kyle Juszczyk motions across the formation. The safety does not care at all about Kyle Juszczyk, right? So, right, you see this right here? Safety. Now, it's there's nuance here because you have what appears to be a Texas route out of the backfield with Debo. Predetermined, obviously. Let's see Jimmy's eyes. Yeah, Jimmy's eyes look like they're on Debo the whole way. Safeties reading Jimmy's eyes. Safety does not give two craps about Juice. And again, these are the things that we've talked about, right? Hey, you know what? If they're not going to respect these types of things, we got to take advantage of it. All right. Well, this was play one. They literally did not give two craps about Kyle Juszczyk. Now let's watch the very next play. This is to me where Juice like goes to Kyle and like listen, or Kyle sees it and they're like they're not showing any respect for Kyle Juszczyk. Very next play. Let's see what happens. Very next play. Look at that. Where does the ball go? It goes to Kyle Juszczyk. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. I think they understood that this defense was not giving any type of respect to Kyle. Look, vacates. This guy stays out on Aiyuk. Safety squats on Aiyuk. They took this play from the play before. This should have been a touchdown. Juice, they look, no respect. No respect for Juice. Kyle says, "All right, well then we're going right back to Juice." Very next play. These are the nuances of play calling and seeing the field in real time and taking advantage of defenses that are playing you a certain way. This is a perfect example of that. They literally saw the play before that they don't give two craps about Kyle Juszczyk when he's lined up outside. They don't think they're throwing it to him. So they said, actually, well, we're going to throw it to him. So I agree. Get him more involved, especially if defenses aren't going to cover him. If they're not going to cover him and they're just going to let him be, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. So, hey, it's on tape, baby. They put it on tape. I don't think you got to be an expert to see that type of stuff. But appreciate you guys tapping in. Hope you enjoyed our little film session that we did live. Again, always appreciate the feedback. If you do like it, to kind of let me know that I need to keep doing them. But as always, appreciate all you guys tapping in, watching, engaging with me, all that good stuff. This live went by. We're an hour 15 in, which means we're off the rails at this point. But didn't feel like it went. Didn't for me at least. Didn't feel like it took that long. But I do appreciate you guys as always. It's always fun to try to find the tiny nuances that is really easy to miss in real time, especially when you're watching broadcast or you're at the game. You miss a lot of stuff. So I appreciate you guys for tapping in with me as always. The hell? Anyways, appreciate you guys. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Yep, Debo's dropping merch, all that good stuff. Appreciate you all. Smash that like button on your way out. Friday we'll do a full blown preview. We'll do a full preview of 49ers versus Panthers tomorrow. Maybe some defensive tape if we're feeling like it. But I appreciate you guys. Smash that like button on your way out. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. Always smash the noti bells. Appreciate you guys. I'm out. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it.